Oh, shit. My fucking tits are in the way. Hold up. My tits. Okay, anyway. Hello, everybody. Welcome in, everybody. It is me, your host, your bottom bitch, your, national disgrace, EEBEE Games. Hello, everybody. So, you may have heard me say we're gonna take a break from Dark Souls, right? I did say that, but I would like to do an addendum on that because I am not a pussy. So, we beat Sens Fortress for the most part, and now we're about to do it again. But before we do it again, I want to show you guys something. Before we do it again, I want to show you something real quick because my friend sent me something and I want you guys, I want you to know if you agree with him. So, we have a joke in my friend group that if we see something weird, we call it EEBEE. And they sent me this post, which reads, it's a picture of a plush Remy the Ratatouille, and it reads, I would pour milk on him and suck it back out and slam his sopping wet body against the wall. To which my friend sent that to me, and he said, very EEBEE coded. And I would like to know, do you agree? Do you agree? Welcome in. Thank you for the hydrate flame swim. Welcome in, everybody. Is that a photo of me? Yes, that is me in real life. But okay, I'm glad we agree that sucking the milk out of a ratatouille and then beating the shit out of it is in fact my my aesthetic of choice. Well, welcome in, everybody. Hi. I'm scared of OP. What do you mean? You don't do this? This is not a thing that you do? It's okay to say you're a coward. No, I'm kidding. So, let's get down to business to defeat the game. I don't think I've even opened the game yet. Isn't that a reference to a Tumblr post? It probably is, honestly. Let me get my shit together. I have my controller plugged in, but I did forget to open the game, which, you know, we can't have it all. Okay, I remembered my tits this time, so I had to forget something else. My girlfriend keeps sending me stuff about alphas, omegas, and... Oh, honey. Oh, honey, no. No. Well, okay. Is your girlfriend telling you, like, which one you are? Like, is your girlfriend saying if you're an alpha or an omega or whatever the fuck? Because that could make the conversation very different, my good pal. Did you see the side of a Starfield? I did see the side of this. Okay, a lot of people have asked me on my opinions on Starfield, because I am, in fact, a person that enjoys Bethesda games, usually. I usually do a lot of the Skyrim. That's kind of my shtick. It's kind of my thing, right? But here's the thing. Oh, shit. I think we're good. Here's the thing. I'm gonna be real with you. I don't know if I'm gonna play Starfield. Honestly, we have so much going on right now. I have no desire to get rid of Skyrim whatsoever. I'm loving Baldur's Gate of what we've played of it so far. I have no desire to play Starfield. I'm gonna be honest with you. But let's see. So, what happened is we went through this thingy. And this thingy took literal years off my lifespan. If you're wondering, EEBEE, why didn't you post the last Dark Souls VOD? It's because it broke my goddamn spirit. I was sobbing, I was crying, I was shitting my pants, I was a hot mess, but we did it. So, what I've been told is there is a boss somewhere near here that I need to eviscerate. Where, I don't know, but there's some stair-steppies over here. This is where I came from, though, I believe. Yeah, I think this is where I came from. So, let's see, back up on the roof? Okay. Yeah, because here, I remember I was having a rough time. Someone was throwing fireballs at me, and I did not like it. It was very rude of them. So I gotta go. I think I know. Yeah! Oh! Anyway, so it was somewhere over here. And then we went down there to get to the bonfire. But then there's a giant. Oh! Kill the giant is the one Oh! Why, hello, sir! Okay. So that is who public enemy #1 is right now. He's that big guy. No, he kind of looks like a friend. He just wants to play baseball, you know, and he's just really bad at baseball, okay? He'll figure it out eventually. That's a different giant? Oh, okay, well, we'll let him do his thing then. If he wants to, you know, do some eco-terrorism, good for him. I'm not gonna yuck anybody's yum. So, there's this guy. I died to this guy. And I walked up to him originally. I was like, is that a friend? Is that a friend? And I very quickly learned he is not a friend. That is not a friend, okay? So we're gonna try to unfriend him. And by unfriend him, I mean murder. But we'll see how that goes. I should, you know what? I don't need my shield. I'm fine. I don't need my shield. Okay, where we're going, we don't need a shield. Oh shit. Okay, I need to figure out how to kick again. Because I always get fucked up with kicking. That's what always fucks me up. Okay, wait. No. Okay, we're going. We're cruising. Wait. Aha! There we go. Okay, that wasn't that bad. See, I just gotta be cruising for a bruising. I just gotta be schmoovin'. Okay, she sent me another thing. Do you like this Y-hander? I do. Listen, here's the thing, okay? Hi, Carl. Hi, Nick. Welcome in, gamers. The thing is I was, like, on my guard up. I was very defensive. And then there was Sunman, Solaire. I almost killed Solaire because I was afraid, okay? So there are some friends in this game, just not a lot. But welcome in, everybody. Hello. I'm trying to fit. Are we back in this? We sure are. Okay, I need to figure out where the fuck I'm going. Because this is where I came from, if I recall correctly. Yeah, we had to go up the stairs. And then, here, please don't hurt me. I'm just a little guy. Shit. I can get those back. We found the bonfire. I don't care. Okay, we found the bonfire. I don't care. I can get those back. Easy money. So, like, oh, right. I forgot something very important for the Dark Souls streams. Hold up. Where is it? That's not that. That's Julian. Wrong one. There we go. Okay, we had to have one first death of this stream. Hold that. Who fight them? Who the fuck is them? Okay, I gotta go get my souls back though. I made a bad choice and I need to go get my souls back because I was like 5k souls, I think. So I wandered around a little bit. I had a little bit of a yeehaw moment, and then you know maybe we will bring Julian back. Who knows? If we need some moral support, maybe. Where are you going with that? Where? Okay, you just set it down. Yeah, you just set that down, bud. That's fine. Okay, we're gonna do this. And then we're gonna go back up here. So that's the thing is, right now I'm not sure where to go. Do I go back to where the bonfire is? Because here it's just like, boop. But that's just where I came from. You know what I mean? Hi, everybody. So I'm wondering where I gotta go. I do wish I had like oh my God. Okay, that's a little much. I'm kidding. I played like 30 minutes of Dark Souls and quit. That's the thing is, I was literally shitting and crying, but like, and I was gonna skip Dark Souls this week, but I was like, you know what? This is the hero's journey. I am not a baby bitch man, okay? I'm gonna keep doing this. Keep going on the path you were going. Where the fuck was I going though? What if I fell off there? Can you imagine if I fell off there? Oh God, thank you for the 10 months, gamer. You now have 10 PlayStation 2s. Can you believe that? That's crazy, but thank you, gamer. So I'm wondering, because that's where we came from, right? Because I remember these things, and I remember just like the struggle to get to them. You don't have to play Sekiro? That's true. That's true. Do it for Astarion. I would do it for him. I would literally, listen. Keep going up and you'll see a tower. Go to the tower. Okay, so we have to go back up to where we came, I guess. So I think I made a bad choice. So we're going to go back up over here. And we're going to try to outrun that guy throwing bowling balls. And hopefully we will do that. So the answer, it seems like, is up. Are you going to play Demon Souls? Right now, the agreement, because this all started with a sub goal, right? This all started with someone saying, how many subs for you to play Dark Souls? And I was like, I will never play Dark Souls. You don't want me to play Dark Souls. If I play Dark Souls, it's just going to be me bitching and crying and moaning. And sure enough, I'm bitching, crying, and moaning, right? This is all Nick's fault. At the end of the day, it all comes back to that. But basically, he was like, we were like, how many subs to play Dark Souls? And I was like, yeah, maybe like, 100. Fuck you guys, because I didn't think we'd make it. And then people were like, here's 100 subs, and I was like, oh fuck. And then they continued and said, how many souls for you to play all the Dark Souls games and Elden Ring? And I was like, fuck you, 500 subs, because I thought that was too many. And I quickly learned that people will pay money to see me suffer. So some of y'all must have like some kind of fetish of like making me cry, which like, don't get me wrong, I'm not gonna kink shame, okay? But that's the only answer. That's the only answer. Right? David just gave me a head pat. Thank you, David. Okay. Hopefully I won't fall off. Because this looks like an area where I could lose my... Oh, someone's shooting. Okay, they're shooting. They're shooting. I think we just have to just keep swimming. Just keep swimming. Just keep swimming. Swimming, swimming. Okay. There we go. Alright, we'll just, Blue we can do... Oh! Combo! Okay, this is pretty early for a combo. We're not even 30 minutes into the stream. See, that's the thing, is people won't be nice to me, Carl. People won't give me money because they... Well, no, people do give me money because they care about me. Thank you to everyone who subbed. I appreciate you and your support immensely. I hope both sides of your pillow are cold, and I care for you dearly. However, people will also pay money to see me fucking die. Thank you for the posture check. So, I'm gonna go see what's over the comm wall, okay? And then we'll see what's going on. Alright? Go up first. Whoop, love chat delay. Okay, he's... Oh, shit. Okay, can I block that? Wait, hold up. Is that blockable? Hold on. Let's see. Yeah, this might have been a mistake. This might have been a, that is a very tall man. I don't know how Oh, look at the dodge! Oh my god! Okay. Behind him? I missed! Okay, go through the... Okay, we're good? I keep missing. Okay, come on. Good? Okay. No, I'm stuck on his legs! Okay, somehow that didn't hit me. I'm not complaining. Let me through your balls! Let me I need to get through your balls! Can I get through your balls, sir? I can't see anything! Lock on! I need to lock off! Okay, there we go. Okay. Sippy! Capri Sun! Okay. There's another one! Okay, shit. Alright, here we go. Alright, here. You... Stop. Can he, like, fall off? Is that a thing that can happen? I feel like locking on has just caused more trouble than any of the other things have, honestly. Great! Fantastic! Okay, maybe I should lock on. Okay, we'll do that. What? Okay. He's got the thigh gap of the fucking century. How do I don't know how to hit him. I'm just trying to get up there. Can I lead him to the fire? Through the fire and the flames, Dragon Force? Like, come here. Come here, big boy. Come here, big boy. Come here. What if I do this? Will the ogre man kill him? Will that work? No. He doesn't take fire damage. Okay. I wish I could lock onto his legs specifically. Yeah, see, he doesn't take any... Well, I don't think it hit him that time. Okay, just smack his legs. Oh, shit. Okay, I got too close. I'd like to... Oh, shit. This is bad, actually. Hit one leg only, he'll fall off. That's the thing, is I just gotta get to the leg. The leg. The lid. The lid. The lid. Okay. Okay, that was something. Not much, but it was something. Okay. Oh, Lord. Oh, wait, I'm not on fire anymore. Okay, that's cool. Yeah, he doesn't take fire damage, which is kind of mid, gonna be honest. Like, I get that he's made of iron, but that's just not fair, okay? Hit one leg only. Oh, shit. Okay. Switch to a different weapon? I wonder if this will work. My little baby bitch sword. I don't know if the little baby bitch sword is gonna work, but we'll try. Okay? Alright. That's not what I... Okay, this is scuffed, but that's okay. Oh my god. Here, just come to the edge. Come to the edge. You want to come to the edge so bad. Just do a little jumpy. Yippee! Okay, maybe don't do that. Okay, so first try. I'm not gonna get upset dying at a boss first try. Because the thing that fucked me up is, like, he's just so skinny. Like, he's kind of a skinny legend. Did you see that thigh gap? Oh my god. Thank you for the hydrate. Now we have to do it again so I can go get my souls back. But, like, he was just so skinny. You know? Like, what was I gonna do with thighs like that? He was just too skinny. Okay? Alright, let's see. How the fuck do I get back up here? I do wanna... Don't the souls show up outside the cum wall, though? I think they show up outside the cum wall. Kill the giant first? Okay. That seems to be the logical answer. Okay. Use a side weapon attack. I don't know what those words mean. I don't know what that means. Okay, when you say kill the giant, is it that guy? That guy. I got a stabbing weapon against the golem. I mean, I have a
Gaslight,
sword
keep
that
girl
stabs.
boss.
Alex, thank you so much for the follow. I'm so glad you're enjoying the stream. You're not gaslight, keep girl boss. Thank you, gamer. But yeah, aren't all weapons stabbing weapons to some degree? You know? Can you stab someone with a spoon? Unrelated, but like, you could, you know? Yeah, is that what you're saying? Kill that guy? The big boy over there. Ah! Okay, this was... No. That was very rude, okay? That... Ah! The one on the tower, there's like 2 towers. It's like Lord of the Rings in here or some shit. Okay, well, I'm all out of sippy. I just want... Can I just get the fucking, cum wall? Let me go back to the cum wall, okay? Because I want my shit back. Isn't it cum wall over here? No. Where is it? No, come on over here. Okay. Go up the stairs before the boss fight. Okay. Yeah, I just want to get my souls back right now. Okay? You're going to go see Dragon Force? Wait, that's sick as hell. That's one of those concerts where I'm like, am I a diehard fan of Dragon Force? No. Would I go see them given the opportunity? Absolutely. No! Locking on is a scam. Okay? If you locking on to anything, scam. Okay? Yeah, it's the cum wall. Is it not? It's the wall of cum. Like, it just, I call it how I see it, you know? Alright, anyway, that was... okay, I'm not gonna lose my marbles this time, okay? I'm not gonna go crazy, go stupid, okay? I'm gonna do the right thing. I'm gonna make the right decision. God, I need a map. I'm directionally challenged in games I've played for over a decade. In a new game, it's just hopeless. Okay, that's where... I think I go this way and then go this way. I just want my fucking souls back. Like, literally, my plan right now, souls, campfire. That is it. That is all I want. I just want to get my souls back, okay? Yeah, does it not look like a wall of jizz? That's what it looks like. It's all like gooey and shit. It's got texture. Okay, we're running across this. Okay, kill the giant first. Where that is, I still don't know, but that's okay. Okay, I think it's over here, where the cum wall is. This is where I fell off and ate shit. Yeah, because then there's a shadow man, okay? Locking on cucks me so much. I'm telling you, lock on is a scam, okay? Kill the giant first. Okay. I'm still not sure if I know what the giant is you're referring to. It's the man throwing the balls, right? That is what we are talking about? Yes, okay. I think. Hi. Oh my god. Can I... Fine, I'll lock on. Thank you. Okay. Can I just have my... Oh god, my souls are in the cum wall. Fuck. Turn around and go up the stairs. Okay. So over here. I only have 2 flasks left, so we might have to abandon ship and rest, but we'll see. Oh shit. Okay. Giant is an easy fight. Well, probably for smart people, not me. That does not include me. Okay, we're just gonna go in, dick swinging. Hello, sir. I have no idea how much. What? Can I? Okay, yeah, he's a little silly, but... Oh, shit. Okay, flask. Oh, my God, that's his crotch. Okay, can I... Sippy! Move! Okay, good. Okay. Okay, all right. And just one more. Oh, my God, you're skinny. You're so skinny. Okay. Stop being skinny! Jesus Christ. Okay. Wait, what? Okay, that was very dramatic, but... Wait, what? Oh! 3K souls too. Okay. Is he gonna respawn? Because I would like to... I was a little silly earlier. He stays dead. Okay, I'm going back to the campfire then. Getting my flask back, and then I'll go back to Cumwall, I think. I think that's the play. Because, low-key, I want those 5K souls back. I murdered a man. What's new? Okay? Next thing you're going to say is I violated the Geneva Convention. Like, it's like some big, crazy fact or anything like that. Like, it's like, whoa, water's wet, you know? All right, let's go over here. Okay, just a nice, lovely stroll back to my campfire, where there will be a hot vampire man here to tell me that I'm worthless, and I'll let him. Okay. Making my way downtown, walking fast, faces past, I'm homebound. Okay, so it's over yeah, there it is. Okay, we're good, we're good, we're good. We can't break it because we're technically not at war. Well, we can start one. Never say never. Okay, perfect, okay. Now get me back my suit. All right, should I kindle here? Can I? Do I have humanity? I don't even know if I do. I don't know if it's worth it, honestly. I don't even know if I have humanity. I have soul. Yeah, I don't even have humanity, so it's whatever. Okay, let's go back to the cum wall, okay? Let's go back to the cum wall. I don't really play with people just because I don't like being online when I play Dark Souls. So thank you for the offer. That's very kind of you, but I go alone. I work alone. But yeah, I feel bad because like I feel like a lot of people watch my streams and they think I'm like very like extroverted, I guess is the word. Oh, like side by side. Oh, okay, yeah, that's fine. I love when people tell me that if they play Skyrim, like while I'm playing Skyrim. I think it's super cute. But I feel bad because sometimes people will be like, "Let me come help you," or like, "Let me in your game," and I'm like, I don't know how to tell you this. I'm shy as shit in real life, right? I've had a few people ask me, because I go to conventions a lot, right? And I've had a few people like ask me like, hey, if I see you at so-and-so con, can I come say hi to you, right? Because I show my face from time to time, not as much as I used to, you know? Oh, Kivia! Welcome in, gamer! If a monkey shout out Kivia, that would be awesome. But thank you so much for the raid. What were you playing, girly pop? What's poppin'? We are trying not to die and trying to get to a cum wall. If you are new in town, hello! My name is EEBEE Games. I'm your time traveler VTuber, your national disgrace, and local woman enjoyer. Hello, everybody! Did I finally rate at a non-awkward time? This is actually a perfect time, actually. There's no balls in my face. I'm not being set on fire. This is good. This is good. I could get used to that, alright? I could get used to that. But welcome in, everybody. We are playing Dark Souls 2. We're about to go through this cum wall. Wait, not yet? You said /J, but what if you're actually /S? Oh. Alright, I'm going in. Can I go in? Can I go in? I'll wait for the chat to... Can I go in? Do I have your blessing? Whoa. 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 Okay. /SRS. Might be. Okay, I'm going in. No one has stopped me so far. I'm going in. Give me back my souls. I want my souls back. Okay, sweeping attack is what we gotta do. Okay? Alright. Okay, there we go. Thank you for the yeet. I'm gonna stay focused, though. Stay focused. Okay. We're gonna need to use the sweeping attack. And we're gonna need to be smart. I'm not good at either of those things. But I'm gonna do my... Can I sweep through here? Perfect. Okay, there we go. Alright. Perfect. Yes! Okay, let my stamina regen. Slow and steady wins the race. Slow like the turtle. Slow and steady wins the race. Okay? Fuck! No! Well, at least I got my souls back before I died. Slow and steady doesn't get you shit. Go fast or you will lose in life. Everything is a race. Go fuck yourself. God damn it. Okay, I don't know what I expect. Okay, sweep the legs. I just gotta sweep and just trust, okay? That's what I gotta do. I gotta just trust, okay? Well, at least we can just go do it again, you know? Like, here's the thing is David was like, oh yeah, the next boss you have, it'll be A-okay. You're past the hard part. The next boss is laughably easy. I think he's a fucking liar.
Sir, you're just bad.
Yeah. Sweet left leg, punch the throat. Okay. I did kill the giant, though, so we should be good on that front. That front we should be good on. I will be playing Dark Souls 2, and I'll be honest, it's gonna be... I feel like in some ways it'll be easier, and in some ways it'll be harder. But either way, we're all in this together, as they said in age-old literature of High School Musical. But yeah, we should be okay. Dark Souls 2 is awful. That was the arrangement. That was the arrangement, is I play every Dark Souls game in Elden Ring, okay? And I'm not a pussy, okay? If you give me money to do something, by God, I'm gonna fucking do it, okay? I'm not gonna, you guys spend your hard-earned money on watching me suffer, okay? So I'm gonna suffer, okay? I'm a woman of my word. I've never beaten this boss without summoning an NPC. Wait, where can I, oh, I can't summon an NPC. I don't have shit. I don't have humanity, okay. That sucks. That sucks. Okay. Well, thank you. I'll give you money to skip Dark Souls 2 and play Sekiro instead. I mean, I was given 500 subs to do everything, so I don't know how much money you'd have to give me. But, like, listen. No one is under any obligation to give me money. However, will I turn down money? Who's to say? I'm kidding. Please don't feel like you have to give me money. Let's go. Yeah, I guess we'll just go try it again, because apparently there is a way to summon a boss here, but I don't have, you need to have the thingy, right? The thingy, you know, the thingy, the humanity that I don't have. Yeah, I don't have that. Okay, I'll give you my college fund. Oh, shit. Okay. But let's try it again. But if I don't give you money, who will supply me with PS2s? Good point. Give it to us straight. How much for Sekiro? Oh, Jesus Christ. Who wants to buy EEBEE her new car? No, I'm kidding. I don't want to set a goal because I don't want people to give me money for that. I feel like I want you to give me money because you like my content, not just because you want to see me suffer. Yeah, it's a lot. Oh my God! Okay, first of all, can you fuck off and leave me alone? Okay? Can you go away? You're killing my vibe right now. You're killing my vibe. Okay? Okay. Alright, here. I'm gonna try to get through his attack and then. Can I do it again? Nope! No, I cannot! Okay. Well, give me back this, so when I die, I can at least try to get it back again. There we go. Alright. Here, another sippy. What's he gonna do? Yup, that's a spinny. Okay, spinny. Okay, he's just spinning. He's just Beyblading at me, and I don't like it. I don't have a Beyblade to Beyblade back at him. Okay? Alright, here's this. I wonder if there's a way I can just make him, like, come off. Can you just leave? Bro, just leave. Just walk away. It doesn't have to be this way, right? Okay. What? Wait, what the fuck? Well, it didn't kill me. Okay. Alright, here we go. Well, now it did. Okay. I don't know what I tried to do. I don't know what I tried to do there. I feel like I don't have enough damage, though. Even with my sweeping attack, I didn't do jack shit fuck all. It felt like. But the amount of souls I need to level up. Hi, Julian. The amount of souls I need to level up is how much I have. But I left them in the fucking cum wall. I don't think I should have gone in the cum wall. Is it from stuff without some hitbox check? True. I don't know. Okay, I don't know what this strat is right now, right? I want my souls back, and you're trying to knock him down and then hit him once he's on the ground. How do I knock him down? Because I have to hit his legs, right? Grab the souls and use the homeward bone? I don't know if I want to do that. Okay. I need to kick him. Okay, if only Mr. Miyagi was here. Wax on, wax off. You're running out of stamina too fast? Okay. Focus on one leg. That's the thing, is the lock on puts me at his, like, middle. So do I just not lock on? Is that the strat? Just don't do that? Want a better weapon? Sure. I have some weapons. It's just, this has been, like, the love of my life. It's what I'm used to, and I fear change. I'm afraid of change. The combos are all made by people who jack it to... There's Dark Souls porn? What am I saying? Of course there's Dark Souls porn. But, like, do people actually jack it to Dark Souls porn? Like, Elden Ring I get, because there's the mommy with all the arms. Like, that I understand. But, like, what are we jacking off to? What are we jacking off to? I didn't know you were autistic. Hell yeah, gamer. It's why I'm so funny. I think I have the Zweihander. But I don't think I ever planned on using it. Because it's like Eagle Shield, Because I've also put a lot into my other weapon, is the other thing, you know? Yeah, my halberd's like +6 at this point. Yeah, it doesn't look like I have it. Ooh. Icky. Okay, it's like jacking into beef jerky. Oh my god. A giant goddess with huge knockers? Okay, that makes sense. That adds up. Okay, let's hydrate. You're funny because of the trauma. Autism buffs the percent for the trauma. Stop, that's too real. That's too real. Okay, I'm gonna hit him. In the leggies. Give me your thighs. What? Okay, give me your thighs. 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 Okay? Alright, souls acquired. So if I die, we're good. Oh my god. Okay, this is off to a fantastic start. Get up! Okay, this is not good. This is actually very bad, but that's okay. Alright, I'm gonna lock on, and I think I just have to sweep attack, honestly, in order to get to the leggy. Okay, he does it again, and then... Shit. This is like the first boss where I'm like stumped, because it feels like I do no damage, and I can't lock on to his legs. So it's like a gamble if I hit them, but I'm supposed to hit the leggy. You know? Okay, go behind him. Great. Go on, girl! Give us nothing! Jesus Christ. Okay. Here, can I? Yeah, there we go. Okay. Roll! Ah, fuck. Okay. Okay. Delayed roll, but a roll nonetheless. Okay, let me run away for a second and have a sippy. God, can I not drink my fucking Capri Sun in peace, you absolute rat bastard? Okay, we need, like, cover or something, but there is no cover. Only suffering. Okay, here we go. Alright. Switching to your pistol is faster than reloading. I don't know why I thought of that. Okay. So we'll let him come up here. Come on, puppy! Why did I say that? I don't know. Okay. And legs. Legs is the goal, okay? Okay, I don't know what he just did, but it didn't work out for him. Can I? Oh, shit! Okay, we did it. Okay, I have no stamina. Can you just wait a second? I'm very tired. God, I do nothing. Okay, well, we're halfway through. We did something, okay? All right, here we go. We just need to get one leg. We need to get him down one more time. Okay, roll. Pass the attack, okay? Okay? I think that's his other leg. Okay. All right, I'm running out of stamina. Here, save it so we can dodge the attack. Good? Okay. Oh, shit. Oh, fuck. I'm stuck in his legs. I can't see. Okay. All right, here we go. Oh, wait. He, like, stopped moving for a second. He's moving? He's falling? He's tumbling! Okay. I need to regen. Okay. Is he falling? Oh, shit! Okay. Oh, shit. I need to get up. I'm so close. I'm so close. Fuck. Okay. Sippy! Fuck! Okay. That was a bad idea. Get up. Get up. I can't see! Okay. Alright. I can't. Let me up! Okay. 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 Alright. I need to save my stamina. I just need to get him down one more time. Okay? That's literally all I need. If I can just get him down one more time, he's toast. Okay? Oh, shit. I thought he was gonna go for me. Okay. Wait for it. Okay. Fuck. Okay. I'm rolling too much. I'm rolling. I just need to get away. Okay, let me kind of wait for shit to respawn. There we go. To regen, I guess. Okay. No! Oh, shit. Okay, I can't. Let me see! I need to see! Okay. Oh, it's close. It's a close one. Okay, here. Attack me. Perfect. Okay. Alright, the dodge was good. Not gonna lie. The dodge was kind of sick. Okay. Alright, wait for him to go for me. Get out of there. Get out of there. No! Oh, that was so close. Ah, that was so close. Okay, I made a few missteps, but that was so close. Okay, here's the thing. I didn't lose some of my souls. I think we can do it. I think we can do it. Okay, like, I feel better about it because I know I can do it now. Okay, I know I can do it. The key here is I need to not get cocky. I had a few missteps and it fucked me up. Two-hand your weapon. Oh, true. That's a good point. Let's do that. So I think if we two-hand it, we'll be able to do it a lot faster. Now I know what to do. Now I know the pattern, okay? We got this, right? I'm invigorated, right? I'm no more angry, EEBEE. No more needing to take a break to watch Sensory videos or play Barbie Horse Adventure, EEBEE. I am a man. I got this. My dick is huge and erect, and my balls... What are good traits for balls to have? My balls are... full! Yeah, there we go. Okay. Okay, we got this. We got this. We got this. Do you want your balls to be hard? I feel like that's a bad thing if your balls are hard. Shouldn't they be like jiggly? Like a jello? Hairy and saggy? I don't want my balls to be saggy. That, well, do I? Cause like I don't want like my boobs to be saggy. They're very perky. I'm very proud of them. But like do you want balls to sag? Is it like opposites? Or I don't know. I don't know anything about balls. Alright, there we go. We got this. Alright, let's get our souls and kill this fucker. Okay? The best thing balls can be is big. Well, my balls are massive. Let's say that. Okay? Alright. Cool. Dodge. Whoa. Alright. We got the balls. Alright. No more talk about balls. I need to kill this man. Great start. Absolute phenomenal start. Okay. Cool. He missed. We both missed. Okay. It's a trade-off. It's a trade-off. Okay. All right. Come here. Get the attack. Okay. All right. I need to move. Okay. I poked him. I gave him a little poke. Alright, come here. Shit, okay. Lock off. Wax on, wax off. Okay, okay, okay. Alright. I'm focusing. Come here. Okay, get off. I think as soon as he starts moving towards me, I just need to lock off. I need to get off, okay? All right. Oh, I can't see. Shit. Okay, he missed too. He missed too. We're both stupid. Fantastic. Okay. We have that in common, good sir. I like the little stupid thing on your head. It makes you look like a Katamari. I love that game. Okay. I'm in a bad position. Okay. No! Oh, okay, he missed. He missed. I don't know how I dodged that, but that's good. He hasn't fallen quite yet, though. Oh, shit! Okay, I ran to the side, not through. That was my bad. That was my bad. Here, let me run a little bit so I can take a flask. And then we can... I should get to good enough distance there. Yeah. All right, he's gonna do the tornado. Cool dodge! Let's go! Shit, I walked right into that one. Okay, you can't win them all. Can't win them all. Okay, there we go. All right, come here. Okay. Oh, shit. Shit! Fuck! Fuck! Oh, get up, get up, get up! No, 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 no! Okay, run, 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 run! Run like the wind, bullseye! Okay. Shit, okay. This is a bad place for a sippy. Okay, just one more sippy. Just... Perfect. Okay. Fuck. Okay. Sip. No, I didn't time it. Okay, I did it too fast. Okay, we're fucked. Okay. All right. Shit. Okay, we're fucked. I feel like he took longer to go down that time than before. I feel like it didn't take his... I feel like it took forever for him to fall down, but I felt like I was hitting him more, okay? The big thing for me right now, though, like, what's gonna make me upset right now is if I don't get the chance to get my souls back. That's what's gonna upset me right now. As long as I'm still able to get my souls back and they're all together collected in the cum wall, I'm okay. You know, right now I'm okay. It's if I die getting up to the cum wall that I'll be mad, but I don't think I'll be able to. It would be impressive if I died getting to the cum wall. I just have to not lock on that one guy too early. Okay. Third time's a charm. Third time's a charm. I think it's actually the fourth or fifth time, but that's besides the point. I have to burp really bad. Okay, we're good. That's why I lost. I didn't give in. Die at the door. You should be able to take it. Maybe, I don't know. Okay. Let's go over here and let's try it again. Let's see. Slice his ankles. I mean, I am an ankle biter. I'm like 5'4", so it's nothing that's unfamiliar to me, shall we say. All right, let's go in here. We kill the one guy, come off, profit, okay? Kill the archer, come off, profit. If I'm not reading chat, it's because if I, like, get hit by an arrow and die here, I'm gonna be really sad. There we go. Perfect. Okay. All right. First things first. Wait, I have one humanity. I could have brought a friend. I don't think... You did not just redeem that. You did not.
You usually turn that off for these streams.
I forgot. I just need the souls. 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 I just need the souls, and then I can die and swap back to it. I just need the souls. Great. Oh my god, I'm tickling him. I'm tickling it. Okay. Here's the thing. I don't think I need a friend, honestly. Shit. Okay. Can I? Oh god, locking onto him so hard. Okay. Die at the door? Okay. Is that what I just have to do? Is just die at the door? Hi! I have my soul, so if they spawn outside the door, then oh. Again! Okay. Hopefully that'll put my souls outside the door, but if not, that's whatever. I'm okay with it. We'll live. We'll live. But that was a good attempt, okay? If it puts the souls outside the door, then it was worth it. If it puts the souls outside the door, it was worth it, okay? Yeet. This bitch empty. Yeet! Okay. Let's go over here, and hopefully, if they're at the side of the door, then we can level up, and that might help us a little bit. Not outside, but you should be able to grab them. Maybe. We'll see. Because that's what I want, is I want that 10k souls to level up. Because that is enough to level up right now, right? So, it's probably not going to work, but it puts the souls outside the door, or else it gets the hose again. The hose? I like hose. I love bitches and hose. That doesn't sound like a problem to me. Okay, let's go over here, and we'll give it another good old college try. Okay? Okay. This bitch empty, said the brain-eating amoeba in EEBEE said. True. It's okay. Bro, okay. Real talk for a second. Normally, like, when I get, like, TikToks that, like, go viral or whatever, I always get, like, a few mean comments, and most of them I don't really, like, give a shit about now. Because it's always, like, the same old shit. It's like, oh, it's probably a 50-year-old man behind your avatar. Like, bro, it's like a VTuber rite of passage at some point to get a comment like that. Bro, I got a comment, oh, hello. No, oh, no, I wanted the, okay. There we go. All right, here we go. Here we go. Oh wait, I need to two-hand it. Fuck. What, why? The button is Y. Okay, there we go. All right, I want to get away from this thing. Okay. Oh shit! I rolled into it. Shit! Okay, that was way too fucking. Like, let me up. Okay, I fucked up early. I fucked up early. This run might be a waste just for that alone. Okay. Oh shit. Okay, I mistimed it. I need to stop talking. If I stop talking, it's because I'm using my gamer laser focus. Okay. All right. God. Great. Okay. That's the thing is you can't run away. Shit! Oh my god. I prefer not to lock onto this boss. You know what? Yeah, me neither. I think I just need to not do that, honestly. I think it's just like, I need to just go whole hog. You know, welcome to the street. I just need to go whole hog. But yeah, anyway, as I was saying, before I decided to make some bad choices, I got a comment. Because it was about, like, Astarion and me making, like, bad choices in men and calling David out on his critique of my bad choices in men. And I got this one comment, and it was like, now call out your boyfriend for liking empty-headed women with shrill voices. And I was like, holy shit! Like, it was just something where I was like, damn! He came for me. And for what? For no reason. And, like, that's the thing. The thing that I get beef with is, like, don't get me wrong. I know I'm silly. I know I'm not great at video games. But, like, I have a degree. I'm an accomplished conductor. I run my own business. Like, I'm not stupid. I'm just silly, you know? Sometimes it feels like it's just a crime to be silly nowadays. Like, it's like, oh, you're silly? Go kill yourself. And it's like, bro, are we not allowed to just be silly? I would like to just be a little silly. Do I have to be serious music teacher all the time? No. Half the reason I stream is because I want to be silly. So I'm not going to be super serious when I'm streaming because that defeats the purpose, you know? All right. Ooh, a Titanite shard. Don't mind if I do. All right. Let's try this again. All right. Here we go. Okay. Are we two-handing it? We are two-handing it. Okay, cool. Over here. So it blocks that. Okay, first priority is the souls. Souls are number one. Okay, retrieval. No, roll! I need to roll. Okay, it worked out, it worked out, it worked out, worked out, worked out, worked out, worked out. Oh my god, shit! I rolled into him. Okay. Get up. Oh my god, I did it again! Okay, so if you roll into his hand, he just fucking kills you. Okay, good to know. Good to know! Okay, let's just... This always happens. I literally, the second time I fight a boss, I get super close to fucking killing it, and then I'm just like, it's okay, guys, it'll be easy. I can just do it again. And then now we're gonna be stuck here for 30 minutes. Dark Souls 1 has the weirdest hitboxes. That's what everyone tells me. And like... It's one of those things where it's like, I feel like if I lock on, I'm going to not hit him. But then if I don't lock on, I don't hit him either. So what do I do in this situation? Die, I guess, you know? It's like, that's the thing is the goal here, this is the one of the things where it feels like the game just hates you. Because what you're supposed to do is hit the leg so he falls down, right? So he goes to take a sit, right? But when you lock on, it focuses on his fucking non-existent crotch, right? Use a weapon with a wider attack. I guess I just gotta, like... I'm doing a motion with my hands, but you can't see it. I guess I just need to use my power attack, but I guess the fear I have with my power attack is it takes long. You know what I mean? So, I don't know. We'll try that. We're trying all kinds of different strategies, you know? You win some, you lose them, okay? Let me kill this guy, and then we'll just be back at the old grind, alright? Back at the old grind. Shut up. Literally shut the fuck up. Shut up! Okay, anyway. Alright, can I get another Titanite shard? Hell yeah. Okay. Okay. Give me my souls! That is all I am here for! Because this run's probably already bonked. Okay. We'll take a sip real quick. Okay. Oh, I rolled too much. Okay. Okay. I'm trying to hit the legs! See? Okay, let me... Okay, that's something. Here, lock off. Oh wait, he's falling! Oh, he's about to fall and not get up! He's falling and he can't get up! Okay? I do think the key here is just power attacking. As silly as it sounds. Okay. That's halfway. Okay. Wrong way, but it worked out. Shit, okay. I need to run away for a second, but not too far. Okay, he's about to fall. He's about to fall. Okay. He's McFallen! Oh, he's McFallen! He's McFallen! Can I please regen faster? Okay? Just like, come on, come on. Just one more. There we go. Okay. He has McFallen! Okay. Wait, why did I update my death counter? It's like such a habit that I just fucking die. I was like, okay, time to update the death counter. Ooh, ring of light. Wait, what's this? Ooh. Ooh. Praise the sun. Wait, what? Are you fucking kidding me? I just wanted to level up! Well, wherever they're taking me, I hope there's a campfire there. Oh, wait. Man, this is kind of cool looking. What if they just drop me and I die and the game ends? Bye, bitch. It looks very pretty, but like... Yeah, this is a very cool cutscene. Bunk. And Orlando. I've heard that name before. Someone's brought that up before. Okay. Well, it's very pretty here. It's very clean. But, can I talk to you? What's up, dude? You come here often? Wait, can they move me back and forth? Okay, so here's what we're gonna do then. Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna go to the campfire, okay? Level up, and then we're gonna get our besties to bring us back to Orlando, okay? That's our plan right now, okay? Our besties will bring us back, okay? Thank you, besties. Very cool, very fun, very sexy, okay? Okay, all right. So let's try. Yeah, let's go again. Get this Y-hander. Where is it? Where is it though? Land of false floors, where if you step on the wrong floor, you fall. Oh, fantastic. That's actually my favorite thing to hear. Did you know that? The giant dead. Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah. Okay. Let's go back over here. And then we'll just make our way downtown. It's at the graveyard and Firelink Shrine. Oh, okay. Gotcha. Interesting. We'll have to go find that again. But I don't know when the fuck the next time I'm gonna go to Firelink Shrine is. If we did want to level it up though, we've been getting a lot of Titanite shards, so I don't know. I feel like committed to like, I feel committed to my dude over here. You know, like it's like we've been through so much together. We're like bonded, you know? You beat the worst part of the game. It looks like I did. We just beat the Iron Golem, whatever the fuck, dude. And now we're heading to a Norlando, but we're gonna level up for, oh my god, I have 52k souls? Holy shit. Okay, how did I not notice that? Okay, well, yeehaw. Okay. Okay. Yee fucking haw. This always gives me anxiety. Getting down to the campfire always fucking freaks me the fuck out. Okay. Let's go. Strength. Strength. Vitality. Strength. Will you play Minecraft with us? I wanted to make a sub Minecraft server, but now there's like all these new rules about what you can and can't monetize with Minecraft, and now I don't know if I can again, honestly. I'm not sure if I'm allowed. Might want to grab some endurance to up your stamina too. Okay, we'll do that next time. All right, let's go back to the besties, but now we have leveled, right? So hopefully we'll do a little bit more damage. Even just a smidge would be helpful. But how much of the game do we have left after this, though? Is it a lot? Are we halfway done? I think we're almost halfway done, if I recall correctly. Halfway makes me feel good about myself. That makes me feel good, you know? Makes me feel like I've progressed. Because I'll be honest, there are some times with these streams where I'm like, did I do anything? Welcome in, gamers! Hello, hello! Kinda half? Okay. Well, I'll take kinda half. I'll take that. I'll take that. Let's see. You need stamina. 2 swings will knock out your entire pool. Ooh, okay. We'll see. We'll put a rain check on that for now. I'm not sure yet because I do like my pole arm. I like my pointy stick of death, okay? I like the idea that I have like ranged, I can just like punch someone's butthole at a distance, you know? Hi, Aggie, welcome in. How goes the Dark Souling? Pretty good today. We've only died 8 times so far. Much better than last stream's 50. We killed the fucking, the guy over here. We killed him. And now we're gonna get our besties to head us back to, the place. You know, the place. The place. It's like weird. It's like, you can't monetize Minecraft in a way. Now, yes, we killed Iron Man. Fuck you, Robert Downey Jr. That's a joke. That's a joke. This is a joke. This is satire. I'm sure he's a lovely man. Are you gonna beat every single boss? When the game says I'm done, I'm done. We'll put it at that. If the game says I'm good, I'm good. Okay? This has aged me. Physically, this has been a lot, okay? We still have to get through Dark Souls 2, Dark Souls 3, and Elden Ring, okay? Well, we'll see. Maybe. Whatever I come across, I will kill. I know I've already killed a lot of optional bosses because I didn't know they were optional. So we'll see. 7 more required bosses. Easy peasy. Easy peasy. Easy peasy. Okay. Let's head over here. Now we're in, like, the nice part of town. Ooh, very bougie, right? Surely no one will attack me here. It's too bougie for them to attack me. There's no crime here. Clearly. This is like wait, who are you? I don't think that's a friend. Oh, there's an ad break happening. Oh, okay. I thought Twitch was gonna do the thing now where they said that, they were gonna run ads. Like, they were gonna give you a warning, but I guess not. So I guess I'll go fuck myself. That makes sense though. We're about an hour in. Just go left from him. Non-friendship. Okay, we can just if people are mean to you at school, all you gotta do is walk away. Oh, okay. He's just chilling. Okay, all right. Bye. Oh, you are also here. Oh. Come here often, fellas? Okay, anyway. I'm not going to riz random Dark Souls enemies, okay? It's practice for Friday, okay? It's practice for Friday. I pay Jeff his blood money so I don't get ads. The strat. Okay. Let's go over here through the left door. Oh. Fuck the ads. If I could turn them off, I would. Oh, hey, campfire. Yippee! All right, well, that's nice. There have been so many struggles with how many times we have, like, not found a campfire. I'm glad. Oh, wait, we have 10? Oh, shit. Okay. Who are you?
Well, You are a rare visitor.
Hi.
Welcome to the lost city of Anorlondo, chosen undead.
Hello.
If you seek Lord Gwyn's old keep, exit here and head straight yonder.
Straight yonder.
If you are the chosen one, a revelation shall visit thee. What follows thereafter depends upon you.
Ah, okay. Reinforce Estus flask. Firekeeper soul required. Ooh. Interesting. Okay. Well, damn. Alright. She worships a twink. Don't we all? Like, Evie's gonna hate some enemies here? Great. She said go straight yonder. So I'm gonna go straight yonder. Okay? What the pretty lady says, I'll do it. Okay? I'm not gonna cry. Okay? I'm not gonna... Wee. This is my favorite ride. Okay. Alright. Now the stairs. This will be fine. No. No, Sens Fortress made me cry, but I'm a new man. I've been reborn again. Okay? It'll be fine. Alright? Let's see. Beep, 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 beep. The gargoyle fight? Oh, he's running. He's a runner. He's a track star. He's gonna run away when it gets hard. Hi! Ah! Okay. Can you... Oh, wow. That was very sad. Okay. How'd I miss? Go away! Stop it! Get some help! Okay. Can I power attack? No! Ah! Okay, sippy! Sip! I would like to drink my Capri Sun! Well, I got the tail axe, so... worth. Alright, let's just try it again, but now I know he's gonna... Yeah, walk away! Walk away, you stupid tailless fuck! Alright. That was very mean. I'm so sorry you had to hear that side of me. Evie really said, I will never be a simp. Listen. Wait, look left. Two chests? Two chests? Over here? Is this a bait for me to get mimicked again? I really don't want to get mimicked again. I am a gentle soul. I have never done anything wrong in my life ever. I don't deserve to be mimicked. That right? Well, this is left. What? Okay. We're over here. Cheesecake ice cream? Oh, that actually sounds really fucking good. Okay, I don't want to go over here because I don't want to invade their personal space because they have anxiety, and if I walk up to them, they'll kill me. So we're not gonna fuck with them. Okay, if we find the chest, cool, but if not, I will, shit my pants, I guess. I don't know. Seems like the only logical answer. Why are there so many friends over here? There's so many pals. All right, I'm just gonna go down the ride, kill the gargoyle-looking ass, and then we'll see what happens. Okay? Oh, I guess I must wait. Boo 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 Do I like... Oh yeah, it's coming back up. I love that ride. Okay. Alright. Let's see. Let's kill the guy now that we have his tail. Did I manage to grab the tail thing? I'm not sure if I did, actually. Let's see. Pyromancy Flame, Halberd, Large Club, Dragon King Great Axe, Gargoyle Tail Axe! Oh wait, how much damage is this? Not as much as my other thing, but I did manage to grab it, okay? 3 chests in there, but there are many chests. Okay, alright. Hi! I missed. Okay, oh. Okay. Alright, oh shit, okay. Wait, how do you get his tail back? Yeah, how do you get his tail back? That's not fair. No! Don't shoot piss at me! No piss! died. But I got my souls back. Hi, Bumble. Welcome in, gamer. The tails regrow. Oh, well. That's great. He gave you the golden shower? Yeah, I didn't want that. Now I'm all smelly. No, I'm not gonna share that story. Never mind. Never mind. Okay, let's go on the ride and kill the gargoyle and be normal, okay? We're gonna be normal, alright? Let's see what's going on. Jesus. I'm not reading that out loud, but that was funny. Basically, I'll give the story real quick because I did tell some parts of the story last stream. But basically, I was dating this guy. It was the same guy who asked me where I was on 9/11 after a threesome. And I remember one time he was really drunk, and I didn't know like what an alcoholic was because I had just turned 21. But he told me he had like 18 drinks, and I thought that was just like a thing people did. So I was like, wow, that's crazy. And we had like something planned, like me, him, and David. And what happened was he like put his phone really close to like his face. And then he just straight up asked me, he just looked me dead in the eyes. Like I had never seen, like he had like the Kubrick stare. You know what I'm saying? And he, oh shit. And he dead ass just looked at me and was like, am I pissing on you this weekend? And I didn't know how to respond to that. I was just kind of like, shit, I don't know, like, maybe, like, tentatively? I don't know. Why would he ask you that? I don't know. To this day, I cannot give you a good answer as to why he asked me that. It was weird, too, because it was like, basically what happened, it was right after the events of, you know, the menage a trois, and we were all just, like, laying there. And I guess it was one of those things where it's like, well, what do we say now? How do we break the silence after, you know? And he just looked at me and David and was like, do you guys remember where you were on 9/11? And me and David just, oh, thank you for posture check. Me and David just like looked at each other. Because here's the thing is he was like 26, I think. Yeah, this was on his birthday, which was like another kind of, okay, you know? But he was like, you guys, like, he didn't lead with this, but he later followed up and was like, well, because you guys are young, right? Do you remember where you were on 9/11? Because he was like 26, and me and David were 21, 22 at the time, right? So we just were kind of like I was a baby when 9/11 happened. I was 1 year old. I was born in 2000, right? I'm 23. And, yeah, he just asked me that, and I was like, damn. And David, like, he looked over to David. He's like, do you remember? Because David's like a year older than me, but, you know, again, only a year older than me. And David was like, no. And then he just started, he, like, kept going. He was just kind of like, yeah, I remember we, like, got out of school. It was crazy, bro. And everyone was freaking out. It was crazy, bro. And I just remember being like, why would you say that? Can I get a hit in? It's my turn. My turn. Oh, shit. My turn. My turn. Okay, can I, here, let me run away real quick, because I need to heal. Oh, fuck, okay. Here, let me, like, okay, there we go. But yeah, that was the story where I was like, I don't know if I should tell that on stream. Oh, shit. Almost. Oh, God, he's so annoying. There we go, okay. But yes, that is the story. Where I was like, I don't know if I should share that, you know? I don't know. I made a TikTok joking about, I made a TikTok about the time we talked about actually during the Dark Souls stream where I made a joke about not being a girlfriend experience VTuber, but like a polycule experience VTuber. Like you get to date me and David. I made a TikTok about that, and a bunch of people were like, oh my God, wait, are you actually like poly? Oh my God, you know? Like, people were, like, really into it, so I was like, oh, well, maybe I can tell these weird stories, because, like, they're funny, but I thought they were too weird, but, like, they are kind of funny, you know? Chest behind the elevator, wall behind it. Okay. So I came out here for nothing, is what I'm hearing. Because that's, oh, wait. Ooh. Ooh. What is this? Hold up. Wait, what? I thought I saw something move back there. Maybe I'm just stupid. Okay. Like, I thought I saw a pillar go down or something. Oh, is this a mimic? Is this a mimic? David!
What?
Is this a mimic?
Get it.
I missed.
Well, skill issue.
Okay, I guess it's safe then. Yippee! Okay. I love not dying. I love not getting my my ass beat. Sure, my dad remembers where he was when he heard JFK was assassinated. I mean, like, that's the thing is I feel like when, like, significant news events happen, you do kind of, like, think about, like, where you heard the news. Like, I remember, like, a lot of stuff like that, but not that one. Not that one. Straight chains are mimics. Okay, understandable. Okay, so that's where we came from, right? But there's, like, a block, right? Like, do I just jump? Do I just yeet my happy ass down there? Because I can't go back. And there are the little side areas, but, like, huh? Like, huh? You know? Let's head down there and see what's up. What is up? What is down? See the scaffolding to your left. Okay, so it's the one, because I saw that one, right? And then, but then here it's just like death, you know? So I guess we'll go back up. Is there scaffolding on the other side? Walk up the scaffolding. Okay, so we'll go up this one then. Because I think we went down the first time, but we'll go uppies this time. Uppies! Yippee! Okay. Boop. All right. If I fell down to my death there, I would have screamed so loud. Okay, let's see. Making my way downtown, walking fast, wrong way? Great. Making my way downtown, walking fast, faces passing, I'm homebound. Oh, okay. So I guess we'll go down then? You see the church? They all look like churches to me. I'm Jewish. They all look like big pointy buildings. So I'm like, the scaffolding. Like, you don't mean the steppies? Thing with the black roof tiles. The scaffolding. Like in Minecraft with the bamboo. The scaffolding. This thing? That's a roof. The scaffolding. Wait, do you mean like I have to like step across here? No, what? Like I run across? But, okay. So I just go through here then. Okay, this looks kind of risky. And frankly, kind of scary. But if that's what I need to do. Oh, I don't like this. I don't like this. This reminds me of that fucking Wii Fit game where you're on the tightrope. Oh my god, that shit was literally traumatizing. Okay. Well, I made it over here. Now what? Yippee! Okay. Now I get. You're really not gonna love this part? Oh. Ooh. What happened in here? There's broken glass. Wait, what? Oh! Get out of here. Okay. Don't jump scare me like that. That's very rude of you, okay? That's very, very rude of you, alright? There's a ladder over here, but there's also another. Hey, what are you? What do you think you're doing? Fuck out of here! Okay, anyway. Is there any other? Oh, there's a lady statue over there. Okay. It took me 30 minutes to figure out. I am glad I have Twitch chat. Listen, that's why I say it is okay to backseat me during these streams, because goddamn. Goddamn. Okay. Well, Gus, I'm gonna fall. I'm gonna fall on my ass so many times. I hope you're not scared of height. I am. And I'm just... Oh, God. I'm so sensitive with my little joystick on my little stupid Xbox controller. Oh, this is gonna be awful. Are you gonna get Starfield? I'm gonna be real with you. Probably not. I'm probably gonna see how it goes. I'm gonna listen to the reviews and see what people have to say. And we'll see. Because I honestly... I'm not sure how I feel about Starfield. I'll be real. But we'll see. We'll see. Alright. Tightrope time. Tightrope time. Ooh, is that the mommy milky lady? Okay, I now see why there's porn of this game. Okay. Alright, you have little daggers. Oh, God. Okay, I'm just gonna have to... Yeah, you do that. Okay, that's fine. Just hit me. It's fine, actually. Okay. It's fine to hit me. That's allowed. Okay, he's dead. Oh. throwing knife. Okay. There are over 1,000 planets to explore. I don't know. We'll see. I don't know. How expensive is it going to be? Do we know? Because I did $70.
$70.
That's the thing is, I don't know. The thing with Baldur's Gate is I got it in early access, so I didn't have to pay as much for it. I'm going to take a sippy real quick. So, like, I don't know if I want to pay $70 for a game where I don't even know if I'm going to like it quite yet. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm gonna see what happens. You know, I'm gonna see what happens. Hi, Josie! Welcome in! Go penis for everyone! Yippee! Yeah, I actually did really well with that. Good for me. Yippee! Yippee! Okay? If you have Game Pass, it's free. Oh, okay. See, sometimes I'm goated, okay? Sometimes I'm a fucking gamer and I'm goated with the sauce. Not all the time, but sometimes. What does this do? Gargoyle? Oh, shit. What did I do? Oh. Ah! Oh, you again. Oh, you fat. You cunt. Okay. I don't like this game anymore. I I would like to hide right here. Right here. This is my hiding spot. No, you can't have this be your hiding spot. That's up there. No! My hiding spot! Go away! Pick a better hiding spot. Skill issue. Okay. All right. Can I take a sippy, please? Let me go to my hiding spot. This is my hiding spot. Okay? Okay. Make no sudden movements. This is my new hiding spot. Ha. Okay. I need to bait him. Aha! Okay. Shit. I've been outbaited. Okay. Yeah, come here. I want him to hit the merry-go-round. I'm just feeling very silly tonight, okay? Yeah. Hit. Ha ha ha. Oh my god. Lock on is a scam! Okay. Lock on is a scam. Lock on is a scam. Lock on is an absolute fucking scam. No. This shit is mid, okay? This shit's mid. Alright. Okay. I did hit him once. So hypothetically speaking, I just need to hit him several more times and then I'll win. Okay? Okay. He's gonna hit one more time. Alright, there we go. Shit. I don't have the range! Okay. You just need to get good with the lock on. Bro, I'm trying! Let me up! Stop! Stop! You are beating a dead horse! Oh shit. Okay, oh wait, I'm alive. Oh, I lived, bitch. Oh, okay. All right. I don't know if I'd say I'm winning, but there's certainly something happening. Not sure. Stop pissing on me. Okay. That was very rude. Shit. That was dirty. That was nasty. I didn't like it. Sippy. Okay. Anyway, I'm going to fucking kayak myself somewhere. Jesus Christ. That was awful. Did I ever tell you guys about the kayak yourself somewhere meme? Because that was... Yeah, the floor was greasy because he pissed everywhere. Stinky. No, and to the left there is loot. Okay, where? Like, the left? There's a wall at the left. Okay. Thank you for Hydrate Gamer. The painting. What's the painting? Okay, let's try this again. But, basically, when I was in high school... this group of friends, we would jokingly tell each other to KYS, right? Because we were edgy, okay? And the teachers did not like that. So instead of, they asked what KYS stood for because they thought they were going to give us in a gotcha moment, right? Like, ha, you're saying something you're not supposed to. But what we said instead is that KYS meant kayak yourself somewhere. Take yourself on a nice vacation, right? So that's what KYS meant. So sometimes I will say, I am going to kayak myself somewhere because, okay. We're cool though. We're chill. We're not at EEBEE baby rage yet. We're not at EEBEE rage yet. It's fine. It's a minor setback. Okay? Minor setback. What is O and S? What's that? I keep seeing you guys say that, those letters. I don't know what they mean.
People are abbreviating a boss name so you can't Google it.
This is like the fucking fucking stream equivalent of like spelling out T-R-E-A-T instead of just saying fucking treat? You guys are so mean! Bro! Orange is small. Okay. Treat! I got a treat today. I got frozen yogurt today.
They're being evasive because this is probably the hardest boss in the game coming up.
Oh, great. Fantastic. Okay. Alright, I'm gonna love it. I just don't want to get pissed on again. Treat? Treats for chat! Yay! Chat can get treats! Whoop! Ah! Okay. Zippy! Alright, we're gonna hide here. This is my hiding spot. The hiding spot strat seems to be working. We got him to like half. Fuck. Okay, I need to... Okay, there's the tail. And then one more! Perfect. Okay! Easy money. See? Easy peasy. Easy peasy. Okay, now we just have to do whatever the fuck is up in this big, magnificent building. Surely... Oh, what does this do? Okay. So I'm probably gonna be able to move that. I'm assuming the boss is in here. It's a weapon? That's right. What is it? Where are the stats? This is what I'm looking for. There we go. Let's see. The big ass knights around here. Are those the ones that have social anxiety where they don't attack you unless you like walk up to them? Because like, first of all, same. Oh. So if I upgrade this, is probably gonna be better than my regular halberd. Oh god, I don't want to walk all the way back to the blacksmith right now. I have to navigate scaffolding again. God damn it. I hate architecture. I'm kidding, that's a joke. This is all very pretty and very beautiful, but I hate having to do fucking parkour on it. That's what I have to say. Oh, there's a blacksmith nearby? Fantastic. Okay. Oh shit. Okay. It seems they're not friendly. Can I just run away? Wait, what's through here? This door's open. What if I just walk over here? I'm assuming this is the scaffolding. Oh, no, it's not. I just fucked myself. Okay. Fantastic. Oh, wait, no. Maybe they went away? Yeah, you back up. You back up, okay? Alright. There we go. Use a shield when you need it. I don't even know when I need it. Okay, I thought that was a door, but it's not. It is door-int. Okay. See the pink demons? Oh, those ones. Okay. Let me see. Because they were over here, right? Yeah, they're on the other side. Oh! Hi! Are you a friend? Whoa. Okay. Shit! Oh, no, I'm... Okay, can I hit, please? I would like to hit, please! What the fuck was that? Can I... Thank you. Oh, wait, there's more. Shit, okay. Yeah, you jump up here. There we go. Okay. What is that white stuff? That's a bad question to ask in a Twitch chat. I'm aware of that. Okay, can I... Go away! Fuck, okay. I need to fucking leave. Okay, Alright, here we go. Alright, just one more. What? Stop! Can I... Okay, I might get... No, that's not what I wanted to... Fuck. Okay, that was not a good choice. That was a collection of bad choices, actually. I don't like that they can fly. I don't think that's fair. And frankly, it makes me a little upset. Why don't I get to fly? Why can't I fly? Huh? Checkmate, game designers. Let me fly. Why, you ask? That would be too broken? Consider the following. Anyway. That's just their death animation? Okay. I guess they're just, No, I missed the elevator! God damn it. Pisser Dragon, Flying Ghouls, Knights with OP, good dog shit game. This gets a solid 2 on Metacritic. Actually, the Metacritic score is probably a lot higher than that. What if it actually was 2? That'd be really fun. Wait, I kind of want to look it up. What is this on Metacritic? I want to know. I want to know. Dark Souls Metacritic. It has a, the remastered version, an 84. Well, I don't know if I give it an 84. That feels rather, oh, did I miss the elevator? God damn it. It's just like real life. You know what, actually, bonus points for immersion because I got distracted and missed my elevator in a video game, right? You slap the simulation tag on there now. Okay. I don't know why. I'm sorry I keep making like random noises. I hope that's okay. I'm just like in the mood where I want to make random noises. You know what I mean? Like sometimes you just gotta go for no reason, you know? You just gotta, it's like the verbal equivalent of like getting the wiggles out, getting the sillies out. You know, you just gotta, you know? You get it. Okay, that fucker's gone. So that's good. We don't have to deal with him and his stinky again. Is Dark Souls 1 where you go through that swamp place with all wooden scaffold? I guess. With this game, it could be, it could not be, you know? Okay, I just need to get my souls back, so I need to, like, pay attention when I'm going up these so I don't fall on my ass and die. Because I don't have a ton of souls, but I have enough where I'd be sad if I lost them. You know what I'm saying? Alright. This section actually wasn't too bad, so I think this will be fine. I did, okay, Blighttown, I'm honestly still, oh, shit, hey. I'm honestly still very proud of myself that it only took me one stream to get through Blighttown. Like, I'm actually... I carry that with me. The voice wiggles are how I imagine you keep your voice warmed up. So, some vocal warm-ups are really silly sounding, admittedly. A lot of times I'm not doing them for the purpose of warming up. A lot of times it's the autism, and I just want to verbally stim a little bit. I love making weird noises. It's one of my favorite activities. But there are some vocal warm-ups that do sound kind of funny. So, like, believe it or not, I told this story to actually a student today while I was teaching. They asked me about belting warm-ups, right? Warm-ups specifically to help prepare you for belting, which for those who don't know, belting is pretty intense when you're singing. You can really fuck up your voice if you're not doing it correctly. You absolutely need to make sure you're adequately warmed up for it, because if... I can't even be mad at it. We both had like a suicide pact or some shit. We just like shook hands and we're like, we're going down. Like, yeah, I think me and that man are married now, actually. I think we're in love. I think we're gonna kiss on the mouth. Like, I can't even be mad at that. Oh, good night, Nick. Thank you so much for hanging out. Hi, Cola. I really can't be mad about it, honestly. It was silly, okay? But yeah. But basically, with vocal warm-ups, right, you have to prepare yourself for belting or you can hurt yourself real bad. You can get things like nodes and polyps and stuff like that a lot of times you actually need surgery to get rid of, and that's not what you want, right? So with belting, a lot of the times you want to make sure you are super open and you're able to access your nasal cavity, and it's open enough so that way you don't have to like scream to get the certain sound that you want, right? So basically, one of the warm-ups, and I actually heard this at a music educators conference. So picture me, right, in my fancy teacher clothes, right? I could toggle to my teacher outfit, but I don't feel like it. I'm like sitting there, I'm taking notes. It's like one of those like, they don't know I'm a VTuber type moments, right? It's very professional. I've got my little name tag that says like my name and what school I'm from and all that jazz. And the clinician lady is talking, right? And she's like, and someone asked about belting warm-ups. It was actually a workshop all about warm-ups, right? All about different warm-ups you can do to keep things from getting stale. Because it's very easy to get kind of burnt out on warm-ups themselves. And just kind of like keep doing the same shit over and over again, you know? Oh, didn't I lower the bridge? I guess I did. Huh. Well, we're here now. So, maybe I can go see my lover again. Maybe I can go see my husband. I'm just flexing at this point, okay? It's fine. It's fine. It's because I got distracted. I started talking. That was your first mistake. Letting me speak, okay? But anyway, we're over there and someone asked about warm-ups for belting. And she basically was like, well, you want to combine a sound that kind of is like a little bit closed off that focuses on the nose, on that nasality, right? And for that sound, we're going to use right? Because a lot of times with belting, you want to have kind of, you want to direct the sound through your nose a little bit. I was like, okay, and she's like, now we're going to combine that with a sound that's very tall and very open to encourage good diction practices and make sure that your singers are getting the airflow they need when they're belting. I'm like, okay. And she goes, for that sound, we're going to use yeah. And I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense. And then she goes, when we combine those, we get the sound nya. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, wait a fucking minute. And she's like, have your singers warm up on scales. Let's try it together, everyone. And she gets the fucking piano out, and it's this room full of adults, full of highly educated professionals going, nya, 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 nya. And I'm just sitting there, and I'm like, oh my god. Oh shit. Do I want to get that chest? I don't want to risk it. I've already made, yeah, you do that, bud. You do that. But I'm sitting there, and I'm just like, damn. Huh. Welcome in, everybody. But yeah, I told that to my students, and they were like, so you're telling me I need to be a cat girl to belt good? And I'm like, yeah, like, yeah, you know, it's exactly like that. You get it, you know. But that's why sometimes if you take lessons with me, because I see some of my students are in the chat, you will know that some of the vocal warm-ups we do are Anya, and that is to prepare us for belting. It's not just because I'm trying to forcibly make you a cat girl. I promise, okay? I pinky promise, okay? Alright, here we go. And I'll take a sippy beforehand. Hell yeah. Get that Baja Blast down the drain. Y'all remember when they had Piss Yellow Mountain Dew? I think about that sometimes. My choir warm-ups were funny, but honestly, I miss them. They're good, you know? Like, a lot of warm-ups are really silly. Like, the one that I've heard a lot of people, when I use it, they'll be like, oh my god, I did that in choir, is the Mommy Made Me Mash My M&Ms. You do it on a scale, and the whole purpose of it is you're working out diction in a way, right? Like, you're doing all these different sounds on the same, all these different vowel sounds on the same consonant, right? Because that's how you have to shape your mouth when you're singing. You can't sing the way you talk, or else it'll sound too nasally, and it won't sound very clear, and it'll be hard to be super, like, open with your voice. You know what I'm saying? So, but, however, that does sound really stupid. Where am I? I don't think I need to be here. I don't think I need to be here. Or do I need to be here? Because I know I died to the boy over here, but this is... I don't remember this. We'll go up the stairs, I guess. It's a cool looking staircase, so... Wait, do I go in there, or do I go up the stairs? We're going up the stairs, I think. Let's see. Because I think this is where the guy was, you know? Oh, dick shit. It does sound like dick shit. Yeah, this is where the... Oh, wait, no, this is where I came from. Okay, okay. There must be a serious chat delay, because I'm already up the stairs, and I see, go up the stairs! I'm glad to know I made the right choice. Let's see. I do all these warm-ups, but I don't know the purpose behind half of them. I feel like I've told you much. I know I've explained to you why we do them. The thing is like, a lot of warm-ups are based around the same, like, 3 things. Like scales, arpeggios, and stuff. But it's how can you kind of change them to make them work for you, you know? To make them work for the goals that you need to accomplish with your song. Alright, let's see. That might just be my own personal delight. You're so valid. So do I go through door number 1? Or do I go to the side? I can't remember. Because I remember I tried to outrun the big boys. Because the big boys wanted to... They had some beef with me. You know? And I know that there's... I mean, went back to there. I went to the painting. You have been stuck for a while. Ooh, okay. Let's go... Just go the right and run fast. That's what I thought I had to do. Alright, here we go. Yippee! She's a runner. She's a track star. She's gonna run away when it gets horn. So we'll go over here, because I don't think they follow you over here. I just want to see him go away. Are you going to go away? He slowly walks back. That's so funny. Okay, now we go after these guys. I remember this part. Okay, there we go. Are you... I just want to make sure he had backed all the way up. You know? Okay. All right, here we go. Hi. Oh, shit. Okay. There we go. That's one. Okay, let me back up for a second and heal so I don't die again. Because that was embarrassing. Okay, there we go. Where'd the other one go? Hello? I don't know where the other one went, but, hello, sir. Oh my god, I'm a gamer! Do they not just fly back up? Okay, I guess not. Alrighty. We'll take those. We'll take those. Okay. So let's go over to the side then. Shield's useful now? Okay, we'll bring the shield back out. There we go. Alright. And then we'll see down the scaffolding here. This one at least has like a fence, you know. Wait a second. How do I forgot he could fly. Oh! I didn't see what was over there. There's stuff over there. Did you know that? That's crazy. That's why you wanted the shield, huh? Checks out. Yeah, that checks out. Oh boy. Okay, I'm hungry. I didn't eat dinner. I need to make a grilled cheese after this. I'm gonna make a grilled cheese after this. Y'all want one? $19 Fortnite card. Who wants it? Yeah, I probably should have eaten dinner before stream, but I just wasn't hungry then, you know? Okay. Let's head back over here, and we'll give it another go. And if I fuck it up again, we might end stream, because I am getting kind of hungry. I want my grilled cheese. I'll take the grilled cheese. I boiled some salmon and rice. Ooh, that sounds good. David made spaghetti, but I kind of want to... Can I say something fucked up? I kind of want to take the spaghetti and put it in the grilled cheese. Would that be fucked up? Because I feel like that would actually kind of smack. You know? Like, you know how they have the spaghetti tacos in iCarly? Why can't we have spaghetti grilled cheese? You know? I think that would be really yummy, actually. That's kind of like mac and cheese. Yeah! It's like mac and cheese, but with bread. Are you high? No. I'm just thick. That's all. Grilled cheese and caramel tastes so good. I've never heard that one before, but I'll have to try it. Yeah, I guess it is just mac and cheese with extra steps. Because you can put bread on the mac and cheese. Or like breaded mac... Like they put breadcrumbs on mac and cheese, right? So it all add up. Hey, David.
What?
Do we have leftover spaghetti?
Yes.
Alright, I know what I'm doing. Spaghetti grilled cheese. I will tell you all in the Discord how it goes. Okay, that will be my dinner for tonight. I will report into the Discord how that shit goes. Okay. So, also, have I had any mic problems this stream? With, like, delay or anything like that? Because I've been having a bunch of mic problems lately, and I think I fixed it, with, like, installing some new drivers and shit. Excuse me! But, yeah, I don't know for sure if I did, you know? Okay, well, you just run over there, okay? Go away, okay? Go away. That's good to hear. That's good to hear. Oh, garlic bread. I would... I'm not gonna say what I want. Hey, wait, you're not supposed to walk over here! Wait a second! Yeah. Back up. Back up. Back the fuck up. Okay. Whew. But yeah, I'm glad that there's no issues with that. That makes me happy. Okay. Hi. Can I... Here, let me... One more hit. Okay, there we go. And then this one. Oh shit, maybe not that one. Okay, maybe not that one. Maybe bad choices were made. Okay, can I run away? Can I run away, please? I would like to run away, please. I would like to take a break, a commercial break.
Gaslight.
Why did that scare the shit out of me? Confused poster, thank you so much for the follow. I'm in a bit of a predicament. Ah! Okay, excuse me. Welcome to the stream! You know I can't say you keep crossbots. Oh boy. I don't know what happened there. I'm gonna be honest. I don't want to talk about it. We don't need to talk about it, okay? It's just we don't need it. We're moving on from it, okay? We're moving on from it. We don't need to bring it up, Okay. Side note, I sent someone, I've been working on a lot of audio engineering commissions. I do like audio mixing and stuff like that as a side gig in addition to teaching voice lessons. And I've had like a bunch of commissions to go through, and I've been absolutely like knocking them out super fast. I've been doing things really good, and I asked them, I'm like, do you guys want any changes? And they're like, nope. And I'm like, wah! But I sent my commissioner a draft today, and he just replied back and was like, actually, this seems better than the idea I had. Let's go with this. And I'm like, I'm so smart. My brain is so fucking big. Okay, let me wait for the elevator, and then we'll go. Okay. But I saw that message when I alt-tabbed to check something, and I'm like, my brain is massive. But I've been really enjoying mixing a lot. This has been fun. Okay, come back up. Okay. What's your favorite Pokemon? Probably Sylveon, honestly. I think Sylveon's really cute. I really like Manaphy. Do you want to hear a heartwarming story before I get my ass kicked? All my stories today have been like weird. I have a heartwarming story, actually. Okay, so basically, when I was in elementary school, I had this little Manaphy plushie that was like the love of my life, right? I would have killed for that Manaphy plushie. And my dad took me to a NASCAR race. So I brought my Manaphy with me, right? I brought that shit with me everywhere. It would not leave my sight at all, right? It was my best friend. Sorry, I accidentally bonked that. But basically what happened, though, is I accidentally left it at the racetrack, right? And I realized it as we were starting to go home, and I was like, oh my God, Dad, can we go back and look for it? And he was like, no, no, we cannot. And I was like, ah! I was sobbing, okay? This was when I was like 6 or 7. I freaked the fuck out about it, right? And I basically, what happened, though, is I forgot about it for like years and years and years. And then I had this friend at school who was like, yeah, I'm clearing out a bunch of my old Pokemon plushies. And I just like brought up, I was like, oh, I used to have a bunch of them. Manaphy was my favorite. And I like told him what happened and everything. And then what happened, though, is he visited my house, and he actually brought me a Manaphy plushie, which was very, very sweet of him. And I think about that sometimes. That is a wholesome thing that happened to me. He made sure and he got one with like he literally was like, I looked around for 2 hours for this, but I found it for you because I knew it meant a lot to you and it was really special. So it was really sweet. And then he followed me home, which was kind of weird. But, you know, it is what it is. Well, take the story for what it is. I made a TikTok about it a while back about how I was in the car with these 2 guys once, and I was just like sitting there minding my business. I'll tell the story, then I'll kill these guys, or attempt to at least. I was literally just sitting there minding my business in the car, and one of them turns to the other and is like, you know, I would rather fuck a girl that's kind of thick like EEBEE rather than fuck someone who's skinny. And I thought the other guy, which was the guy that gave me the blushie, I thought he was gonna look at him and be like, bro, what the fuck? But he looks at the guy and goes, he looks at the guy, right? Our other friend, our mutual friend, he looks back at me, and then he looks back to him and goes, yeah, I agree. And I'm just like, oh fuck, I'm in danger. Same guy. Same guy. So, yeah, no. Alright, I really do not deserve David. Okay, here we go. One more? Shit. Okay. No. Okay. No, lock off. Okay. Wax off. Okay. Okay. Alright. I need to, oh my God, they do so much damage. Okay. Alright, another sippy? Shit. Okay, holy fuck. Alright, they do, oh my God, they do a lot. Okay, can I just run? No, I cannot. Okay. Shit. Alright, that's unfortunate. That is unfortunate. I think this stream has almost been 2 hours. Has only been almost 2 hours. Yeah, I usually don't stream as much as I used to just because I kind of get tired. And my problem is I yell a lot on stream. But the thing with that, and I'm not like doing it on purpose, I just get excited and it just kind of happens, you know? But the thing with it is I'm a voice teacher for a living, right? So like, if I fuck up my voice too bad by screaming on stream, the next day, I'm just kind of fucked. Do I have a Ring of Lightning resistance? That's pants. Steel protection, wolf ring. No. I do have the Ring of the Evil Eye, though. Would that be better, you think? Let's try it, actually. Let's see. Let's try it. Let's see what happens, okay? I don't have a ring of lightning resistance, though. But yeah, that's why my streams have been shorter lately. I don't have the FAP ring. I tried to find it, and I couldn't find it. So maybe we'll go back for it. But yeah, that's why my streams are only, like, 2 to 3 hours long, just because, like, it's not that I'm, like, not having fun most of the time. Most of the time, it's literally just, like, I know if I keep going, I'm gonna feel like shit in the morning when I have to teach singing at 9:30 in the morning. You missed your opportunity to get it? Aw. I will never FAP again. Tragic. Okay, let's give this one more try and we'll see what happens. And if I fuck it up, I will go make my spaghetti grilled cheese. And if I win, then we'll keep going. We'll see what happens. We'll put it in we'll let fate decide. Do you remember the night trapped in the room? I'm gonna be real with you. No. No, I do not. Let's just run over there. It's fine. It's so quiet though. The one thing that fucks me up with Dark Souls sometimes is there's like rarely any background music, you know? It's just like ominous, you know? So you fucked up. I haven't heard that before. But yeah, that's the thing is it's so quiet, you know? You're a little fucked for late game now? Great. Oh boy. Oh boy. Yeehaw! Okay, I ran past these guys before without them attacking me, so we're just gonna try to do it like this, and then, yeah, okay, there we go. That works out. Okay. Give me my souls! Yeah, and then you hear rats jumping you. Yeah, it's quiet. Too quiet. You know? Okay. She can still get the jerk-off ring? Okay, that's true. Ah! Wait! You were supposed to go away! Back up! Back up! You don't even go here! You don't even go here! Go away! Back up! Back up! Back up! Back up. Yeah, that's what I fucking thought. That's what I fucking thought. Now don't ever cross me again or I will eat your own ass. Okay? Alright, let me see. Let's go over here. And hopefully we can just do one at a time and not multitudes. Because they had all of them coming at me all at once last time. And I'll be real with you, I didn't like it. I didn't like it one bit. Okay, one more hit. Oh shit, okay. There we go. Alright. Heal. Okay, he just fell through the fucking floor. Good for him. There's one over there, and there's one... Okay. He's aggro. Will he come over here? Cool. I'm trying to drag them out one by one, okay? The bus backing up noise. Beep, beep, beep. Okay, there we go. Alright. Oh, shit! I thought my shield didn't even save me there. God damn. Okay. Shit! Okay, can I heal? Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Shit. Okay, I blocked some of it. One more. Cool. Okay. Perfect. Alright, last one. Last one. Come here. This one I might be able to get to yeet off. No, or not. Or it'll just kick my ass. Come on. Oh, I thought I was locked on. Fuck. Okay, that works. Okay. We continue. Alright. Hopefully I won't get shot off the scaffolding this time. Because that was a little fucked up. Oh, right. It's this way, isn't it? Yeah. Okay. Alright. Making my way downtown. Walking fast. Faces passing. I'm homebound. That's been like the song of the day for some reason. Okay, get out of here. I don't know what you're doing. No! Oh, wait, fuck. Oh, there's someone behind me. Oh, I'm so fucked. I am. Is that not overkill? You have the tool, one of those guys, and then the shooting the spears? Is that not too much? Is that not, do we, that just feels like a little much to me. I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. I'm gonna be honest with you. Okay. I think we're gonna call it here for tonight because I am really hungry. I'm gonna be real with you. But we made some good progress. I'm happy with the progress we made. So next time, I don't know if we're gonna finish Anorlando. I don't know how long the area is, but I think we might be able to try, you know? We made some decent progress. We're about halfway through the game, so like, I'll take that, you know? Thank you for the hydrate, Jolly. So basically though, welcome to the gamers that are new. Well, thank you for hanging out, gamers that are old. This is my time where I do all my link shit. If you would like to keep up with me, please join the community Discord. We'll be having a community event, not this weekend, but the weekend after. We're all gonna watch, Half-Life VRAI, very, very fun web series, very, very enjoyable. I also post all my VODs on YouTube if you want to see what happened before this, and here's my other miscellaneous social media if you are curious about that. And also, I talked a little bit about my job today, so if you want to learn more about, oh wait, that's the wrong website. That website doesn't work anymore. I need to update that. Because I was gonna say, I talked a little bit about my job today, so if you want to take voice lessons with me, there's the link, but the link is wrong, so... I think that one of my panels works though, but you know, it's whatever. But yeah, thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. I hope you enjoyed it. Sorry it was kind of a shorter stream, but I'm hungry. I want my grilled cheese. You know what I'm saying? So let's see if we can go over then. We'll go, who are we gonna raid? Let me go on, oh, that's YouTube. That's not even Twitch. We will raid... Oh, Yoro's doing a concert! Yeah, Yoro's doing her concert. Yoro is one of my former voice students. She's also doing her 3rd anniversary concert. So we're gonna go raid her today because we love her. We love her so much. Please give her love and let's go, we'll do once a student, always a student. It's true. I will never let you go. Ever. No. What's our raid message gonna be? We'll keep it simple and we'll just do EEBEE raid. EEBEE raid sounds good. And we'll just do... Oh, wait, that's a sad face. I didn't want to do that. We'll do EEBEE cheer if you have it. EEBEE cheer if you have it. I keep accidentally pressing the sad face. There it is. Okay. So we'll... Oh, that's the wrong button. I did the raid message and the raid thing. Okay, here. Let me try it again. There we go. Raid. And then raid message is gonna be EEBEE raid. And then where's the button? Ba-la-la-la. There we go. Perfect. Okay. Thank you, gamers, so much for hanging out with me. I hope you had a good time. And I will see you Friday on YouTube or Sunday for Skyrim Sunday. Okay? All right. Bye, gamers.